BBOB for short, helps make all of this happen. We are the parent support group that helps provide funding and a lot of other things for the band and orchestra. They can't do what they do if we don't do what we do to help support them. And so we want to thank you for being here this evening. I want to share a couple of things with you. First of all, if you're new to Bartlesville or new to the high school band and orchestra programs, let me just tell you a little bit about the orchestra boosters and band and orchestra boosters. We have 8 officers who serve as board of directors. All of the paid staff and directors are also part of BBOB, but they are not voting members. Each one of you, as a guardian or parent with a student in the band or orchestra, you are a voting member of the club. So if there are things about the club you don't like, show up to meetings, bring it up, we'll vote on it, and you can affect a change that way. There are copies of bylaws that are available that rule how the organization works. We had some available, they all disappeared. Amazing. Those are also online. You can download, we'll have more available at meetings. You also should have picked up a copy of a BBOB handbook. I am not going to read that to you tonight. You're all intelligent adults. You can read it for yourself, and we'll cover a few things that are in there. If you did not grab one, be sure to grab one as you leave. There's great information in there that you will need to know. Also, if you did not fill, I'm talking really fast because I have a lot to cover, and I know you don't want to listen to me, so I'm going to go fast. If you didn't fill out a parent information contact sheet, please pick one up, fill it out, and leave it tonight, okay? One of the things we're trying to improve on as an organization is communicating to you, our members and parents. We are always getting statements from parents, I didn't know that. That's because we don't have a way of communicating to you. So if you will fill that out and give us, most importantly, an email address that you check. We email out information all the time. We try not to flood your inbox every day or anything like that. But important information we try and send out to you. You cannot rely on your kids to bring that stuff home, right? Okay? Because that doesn't happen. Someone asked me today, is that something the kids brought home? I said, yes. They said nothing came home. I said, well, there you go. So, please give us your contact information sheet. What do we specifically do for the organization? Lots of different things. We provide chaperones for trips. We provide mostly financial support for both programs. We help build the prop for the marching band that they put out on the field. We help pay for clinicians, experts to come in and work with both organizations, band and orchestra. We help offset the cost of private teachers that come in and work individually with the kids. A lot of those teachers come in from Tulsa. We pay their mileage, their travel expense, so you don't have to. That makes those private lessons more affordable. We purchase equipment for both groups. We buy sound systems and racks and bags and all sorts of things. We pay for repair on school instruments. And we help provide the awards for the kids at the end of the year. Some of those are cash awards. We have, for the top band and orchestra students, I think it's $500 scholarship award we do. And many, many other things. Probably the biggest thing you're going to appreciate about us, especially if your kid participates in band, or if you are traveling to Italy in the next year, we coordinate all the fundraising effort. All of the fundraising dollars and all of the money that goes to the trip comes through BBOB. Without us, the band and orchestra do not travel. So that's a major part of what we do. All the fundraisers that the kids will be able to participate in are coordinated by BBOB. The money comes through us, it goes, and we manage all the accounts. And so that's a big part of what we do. Probably the best known fundraiser we have is our Blue and Gold sausage that we sell every year. That's a big one. We do it in the fall, we do it in the spring. Information should be going home here in the next couple of weeks. We've already scheduled the first sale for this fall. It's the very first fundraiser we're doing. So be looking for that. We'll do another one in the spring. In between, we have several that we are working on getting together. So if you have a kid that is needing to fundraise, we will be providing lots of fundraising opportunities. We coordinate the uniforms. Both band and orchestra have uniforms. We have parents that operate that and keep track of all of that. The orchestra, Beth Platoon. Beth, are you in here? I think I saw you earlier. She's way over here. Stand up, Beth. Beth is on the board. We created a new board position. She's the vice president of standing committees for orchestra. We created that so orchestra will always have a strong representation on the board. Beth is coordinating, trying to get an organization around the uniforms this year for orchestra. We'd like to help with that. I know she will love your help with that as well. Okay, so what we need to do as the parents and part of this organization, It's important to remember, BBOB is your organization. You as parents and guardians are the organization. It doesn't happen without you. We meet on the second Monday of every month. So our next meeting is September the 13th. Those meetings will take place here at the FAC, most likely in the band or orchestra rooms. We don't know for sure yet. If you haven't heard, this place is a bit chaotic right now as they figure things out. Once it settles down, we'll have room assignments. We'll let you know when those meetings, where they will be. But they're always the second Monday of the month at 7 o'clock, and they will be somewhere in this facility. One of the biggest things that we need for you in order to help the organization is to help us with funding. And our biggest fundraiser, our biggest source of income is the football concession stands. BBOB runs those. That is a little bit more than a third of our income every year comes from the concession stands. We need you to work. Okay? We need you to sign up, to volunteer, work a shift at the concession stand. We do the 8th grade, 9th grade JV games on Monday night. We do the varsity games on Friday night. We operate both stands, so there's a lot of shifts. There's a lot of games. It's a lot of work. We need you to volunteer to do that. Tonight, after this concert is over, in the hospitality rooms, which are just across the lobby from the auditorium, we're going to have a meeting about the concession stand. We have a concessions coordinator who needs help. She cannot run the whole thing by herself. Last year, we gave assignments, like one person was responsible for doing all the shopping at Sam's. One person ordered all the pop. One person came in and set up the home site. One person came in and set up the visitor site. Lots of different jobs, little jobs like that make it a lot easier on everybody. If you could maybe help with some of that stuff and be interested, please come to that meeting afterwards. She also, Jennifer Hyde, is our concessions coordinator. She also has sign-up sheets for the individual games. If you want to sign up tonight to serve and work in one of those individual games, she's got that tonight. We will be doing it electronically as well, and we'll be sending out a link to do that. Okay, let's see. Bring that. Okay, another big thing you can do, learn how to use Charms. If you don't know what Charms is an online service that we use. The staff uses it and BBOB uses it. It does a lot of different things. Primarily, we communicate through it. That's our email server to get email out to everybody. But it's also the financial tool that we use. So if you have questions about how much money your child owes, how many fundraising dollars they have in their account, how much they owe on this trip or that trip, all of that information is on Charms. If you don't know how to log into Charms, your student should. They have an account number and all of that information. Ask your child. If they don't know, then contact your director and get your Charms account on. You can log on 24/7 and check all that information. So that's available to you. You can also update your own contact information. If your email changes, your phone changes, you can go in and do that. Okay. The next thing you can do is pay your fees. If you're a band parent, you should have gotten like 10 emails from me with a copy of the band fee sheet. They were available tonight. Pay your fees. They're due by September 14th. If you're an orchestra parent, band and orchestra students all owe a $40 minimum point fee. That goes to the organization. That's part of our funding. That's part of how we repair instruments. That's part of how we buy equipment and stuff like that. That is required of every student, 9th through 12th grade, in both band and orchestra. Band parents, don't panic. It's not a new fee. It was included on their fee sheet. So if you've already paid that, you're good. If not, pay your fees. Everyone who pays their fees by the first BBOB meeting in September, which is September the 13th, your student will be entered into a drawing. We'll have one drawing for band and one drawing for orchestra. We'll get $100 credit towards your account. So that would be really nice going towards those Italy payments or St. Louis payments or just the payments in general. So pay your fees. Help us with supporting something we're going to do this year as a fundraiser, our dinner nights. Our first dinner night is next Wednesday night at B-Dubs, Buffalo Wild Wings. From 6 to 8, 10% of all their sales that night, no matter who you are, 10% of all their sales goes back to you. So encourage your friends and your neighbors and your coworkers to go eat at B-Dubs next Wednesday night from 6 to 8. We're going to have one of those a month. That's a great way, an easy way to generate money for the kids. Please support those. This is really, really important, okay? I'm getting to the bottom. Help your kids with fundraisers. If your child, all fundraisers are voluntary. If your child participates in a fundraiser, help them. They are not good at this, okay? I don't care how organized they are, how responsible they are. 99% of them
It's like surround sound.
Fundraiser, okay? Help them with their order forms. Make sure their order forms are right. Make sure they're complete. Make sure they're real. Make sure their name is on it, okay? Make sure they get turned in on time. When the product comes in, make sure they pick it up. Make sure they deliver it. Most importantly, make sure they collect money for it. And then, make sure you turn the money in. For every fundraiser we do, listen, parents, this is extremely important. For every fundraiser we do for students, we will always announce a date and a time and a place to turn in money. Never, ever do you slide money for a fundraiser underneath someone's door, stick it in their mailbox, or just think that it will magically appear, okay? We will set times, dates, and places for you to come, and the way this works, you walk in, you'll hand the treasurer the envelope, they will count the money in front of you. That protects them, and that protects you. We make sure the money gets handled right. Please do not contact the treasurers and say, I can't make those turn-in dates, can I just bring it by the house at Timex? I know that sounds reasonable to you, but there are 300 kids in the program. We cannot do that for 300 people. Please remember that our treasurers are volunteer parents. They've got lives, they've got jobs, they're doing activities, and so they can't handle individually 300 different people. Please turn in your money for your protection and theirs during the turn-in times. That also applies to if you make a payment on your trip or you pay your band fees, don't expect that it's going to hit charms right then. It will probably take several days. They're busy people. BBOM this year will handle several hundreds of thousands of dollars. I know that sounds ridiculous because our budget's only $60,000. But between trip payments and concessions money and contributions and all the money we put out, it's several hundred thousands of dollars. And so we have two people that process all of that money. And every bit of it that comes out goes right back out. And they have to keep track of 300 kids' individual accounts. It's time consuming. So please be patient with them. They're great people and they do a wonderful job. Okay, one last thing about money. We are selling band sponsorships. This is a way of raising money for the entire organization. But we're going to sell 4 show sponsorships to businesses in the community. What will happen is when the band is on the field marching their show this year, that business's name is going to show up on the video board. At the end of the performance of each home game, we will say, this show has been brought to you by our wonderful sponsors in the community, and we will list the 4 sponsors that have sponsored the show. If you work for a business, own a business, or you're just a really great person and would like to do that, come and see me, put me in contact with the right people. We're only selling 4 of those for $250 a piece. You also get your name in both the winter and spring concert program as a board supporter. And you will win the undying love of 120 band kids standing behind you. Okay? All right. Concessions cards. We did this last year. Your kids go to football games. You don't want to hand them cash. Buy a concession stand card. They're $10. They're worth $10 worth of stuff. It's really easy. We have them for sale out there. It's just an easy way for us to advance sell stuff and have money in the bank to go and buy stuff. So it also is a good way for you to control your kids, because if you give them $10, you're not getting chicken back, right? So might as well give them the $10. You know it goes on concessions. It doesn't go to cigarettes or whatever else around these days. So anyway, buy concessions cards. Okay. Don't forget about the concessions meeting. Please, 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 if you can help with concessions, meet across the hall. There are yard signs for sale outside. There are t-shirts for sale outside. Concessions cards. You can pay your fees. You're wonderful people. Thank you for your support. If you have any questions at any time, my email address, my phone number, as well as the rest of the officers is in the back of the handbook. You're welcome to call or email, and sometime this year we will get back with you. Thank you all.